Okay.
There he is. Voila, from Israel.
Hello. How are you?
Amazing. What do you guys think of this? I heard a lot of laughing and a lot of clapping. Amazing. I'm so excited to have you here. This is the second year in a row that I've had a chance to interview you. From the new Jew to now an Israeli rom-com. What an incredible thing that you've done here with your first take. I guess I'm going to start off. I'm going to give the audience a chance in a moment, but I just want to ask a little bit about the genre. Sure. That's a big genre switch from going from bridging the gap between North American Jewry and, you know, and Israeli Jewry, the politics, the differences, to all of a sudden a directorial debut as a rom-com. Tell us about that transition.
Well, it's not a transition because in Israel, you know, the ceiling is so low, so you grow to the side. So this is what you do in Israel, that you have to adapt, you have to become better at multiple aspects. And this is what we do. I think the fact that this, you know, industry is very small. It allows you to do all sorts of stuff, and nobody can look at you and say, no, you can do only this, just do that. And I think we have more options. It's funny, but we have more options than like the Hollywood does. And you know, I'm 46, so I think this is the time to grab every opportunity that I have, you know, to do anything that I want and love doing. And this is one of them. This is something that I always wanted to do. And I waited for the right story and it came along.
So those of us, and there's a lot of fans here that have seen a lot of films in the Jewish film festivals over the years and the Israeli film festivals over the years, rom-com seems a little bit like a new genre for us, right? You know, we've got the Reservoir Dogs version, the mafioso version. You know, you've been in some pretty serious films, Eran Riklis films. So tell us a little bit about the rom-com genre and the story of how this came to be.
Well, it is in the making still in Israel because everything is hardcore, right? And you don't have a lot of chances to do movies in Israel. So if you do, it has to matter a lot, right? You know, the Israeli-Palestinian situation, the religious and the non-religious and the secular, or it's the relationship between, you know, people this generation and the Holocaust generation. Everything is super heavy, right? And we did it for 70 and something years, but now I think we are trying to find out what is our popular culture, what is our local culture, and we're taking from Europe and we're taking from the US, and we're trying to realize what is our identity, what is our humor, how our relationships looks like in Israel, and what it's a compound of. And this is what we try to do. And I think this is something that in the last decade is happening in Israel. It's like an escapistic view of cinema, and that cinema should be and will be entertaining, and it has to have, you know, like a value to it and a volume to it, but it should be just entertaining. And it's okay to do something for the laughs and something for the soul and something for the togetherness, and not just, you know, like this very heavy duty matters of the state and government and Zionism and Judaism and everything. So I did this, and most of us, you know, we touch on a lot of subject in Israel, as I said, but this is something that we need. These comedies, this fresh look at how young people are just, you know, happening and being in Israel. And I think that people abroad seeing that, it's much more, you know, you can understand how it is like living here, really, and understand that everybody is the same around the world. Relationships are the same. We have the same values. We have the same morals, and and you know, it's about friendship and stuff like the stuff that everybody's created of, and not like just thinking of Israel and thinking of, oh, it's the Middle East. Everything is heavy. Everything is about war. Everything is about just surviving. So this decade, this rom-coms and all the comedies try to be more about modern life in Israel and just telling that story. So I love that it's happening now. It's saying something about we becoming a normal state.
Mm. Mm. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. So I understand a little bit of this was Omar Barak, the writer of the best-selling novel, The Wedding,
That's right.
Sent you a script long ago, and your response to it was finally a rom-com that's actually funny. And it took many years to make this. So tell us a little bit about the collaboration and how you adapted the book and how you collaborated and the screenwriters. Just tell us a little bit about that.
So Omar Barak, he didn't came to me with the screenplay. He texted me about a book that he's going to publish, and if I want to read it. And of course, I wanted to read it, and it was super funny. And I thought this could be a great movie if they let us. It could be a great movie. And I told him, listen, this is a great movie. He said, I know, but what do you think about the book? I said, no, it's a great book. It's a great book, but I think it could be a movie. And he said, okay, so if you can say some stuff about my book, and you can be written on the cover just saying, anything about the book, I'll let you have permission to do the movie. So I said, okay, that's a good deal. I got this deal. And after the book was published and became like a bestseller novel, and I started working on the screenplay. It took about a year and a half. And then I started shooting. And then I stopped shooting, and then I got back to the writer's room, and I had to do a series of adaptations from the book to the movie. And after that, it just came alive, the whole thing. But it's so different from the book because it had to have a life of its own. So this is what I like about creation. Once you do something, it has a life of its own, and it knows what it wants. So the movie script just wanted to go different ways from the book, and it was okay by me. I just let it.
So as a comedian, I once had a comedian tell me that he took an entire year to write 15 minutes of great material. I'm kind of wondering about creating an hour and a half long film, and as someone who stands up on stage and does stand up, what was the experience of being behind the camera and in front of the camera? And that was a lot to take on in for this particular one and the screenplay. Can you just explain what it was like for you to be a director for the first time?
Well, I'm not. I am familiar with directing. I've did it lots of times on shows and on comedies and on TV. I never did like a full-long film. And I didn't think that I would be in this movie. It was Avi Nesher's idea. Sir Avi Nesher, if you like. He's one of our best film directors. And he was my advisor on this project. And he just said, listen, you have to be in it. Not only that the people will see you and enjoy your acting, you have to be in it. So it says, it has a message to it, because now they see, oh, it's your movie. He's a part of it. He's contributing to it. He's mixed with it, and I never thought I'll do that. I mean, it took a year and a half of back and forth of script, and even a little bit of shooting. So I understand that I need this. I need to be a part of this, and how can I be a part of this? And I had these two layers to the movie: the now and the then. And I like immersed myself into that kind of story and narrative, and it became more I don't know, more of a modern story about people, you know, being cynical about relationships and what happened once the heart really, you know, does something to you, and if it still does. So I think I think it had to be. This is something that I had to do. I had to be a part of it and be directing it. And the technical aspect of it is not really very hard or very because you can see, you can have, it's not like film editing or like when we used to have film. We have these, you know, monitors that you can do your scene, get back in the chair, look at it, understand what you did, understand what the cameraman did, understand everything, go back and do it again. So technically it wasn't that hard. Just for the mindset of it, I think once I was a part of that movie, it became better, not because of my, you know, my charisma. It just became better because I was into the little details. I was into every detail, and that was better, I think, to work on.
Wow. Talk about, I mean, charisma, obviously. You have an incredible cast. And many of us, obviously, we opened the film festival also with a great interview with Sasan Gabay. And of course, Lior Ashkenazi is also in that film. Dina Sanderson is just amazing. And Mayim Bloom, and you can go on. So what was it like? Obviously, I want to know a little more about your Avi Nesher relationship, because that's an incredible person to have as a mentor. For those in the audience, Past Life, The Other Story, Image of Victory, Turn Left at the End of the World. I mean, some of the most incredible films coming out of Israel. But tell us about your casting and the relationships between the actors. And then we're going to open up for questions.
No problem. So casting was pretty tough because I looked for Mayan, for Adam's character. I looked for him for a long time. I didn't know if I had this guy who can be vulnerable, who can be, you know, appealing but not good looking. I didn't want this, you know, this bluff of bringing this Ozehavi character or kind of, you know, manly man characters, just dressing them up as though they're not confident and then they're blooming. We were laughing about this kind of genre. We really want like real flesh and blood guy that you can see in his actions and his body language and everything, that he didn't have it easy, right? He didn't have it easy throughout the years. So I looked for him for a long time. Once I got him, I assembled everything according to Mayan. Danielle was amazing. I knew she will blow his mind because she's so confident and kind of and so sexy, and I knew that she will throw Mayan off balance, and this is what I need. I just wanted to downgrade her a bit when we started shooting because she's so glamorous. She's so damn glamorous. And afterwards, you know, all the other parts just fell into place because I have a lot of people and friends in the industry that we went, you know, through all sorts of projects throughout the years, and we just wanted to have this opportunity to do another shooting together, another film together. So everybody just joined in. I mean, everybody I called up, I said, "Do you want to do this? It's a very small part." They said, "You know, it's great. I'll come. I'll contribute." And I think this is what's amazing about this industry, because it's so small, because it's so familiar. Everybody chips in. I mean, Lior Ashkenazi is a guy that is so, you know, he's really one of our best actors of all times, I think, I dare to say. And just calling him up and saying, "Listen, I know it's a rom-com. I know it's not, you're not starring. I know it's an asshole part, but please join in." And at the first please, he was in. I mean, this is what's lovely about this camaraderie of people in this industry.
Amazing. Well, we wanted to open it up. Maybe we could just add a little bit of light in the theater here. And we wanted to open up for some questions. And just so that we're recording this So that if there are questions from the audience about the film that you just saw, please join us. This is quiet Seattle, Guri.
Yeah, I know.
I have to get
Seattle.
Very warmed up. You've been on the stage, in fact. Are there questions about the, if not, oh yes, in the front, go ahead, and I'll repeat it.
I don't know the question, the comment that it was surprising to me how much I enjoyed it. I was not able to listen to it. I had to read it.
Got it.
And yet, the energy of the performance and watching the people still was possible.
Yeah.
But it is a comedy is difficult when you have to take the words off the screen by reading.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good, Guri, you can hear this. You can hear the comment. Yeah. So yeah, just in case, the comment was about how not being able to understand the Hebrew, but actually being able to take the comedy from the performance and also reading it off the screen. And I think that also brings up another question, which is, who's your audience for this exactly? Where do you see, is it American? Is it, how many languages will it be translated?
Everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So everything I ever do is always for the Israeli audience. If somebody else gets to see it and understand and gets it, I'm blown away. I'm happy. But first and most is just this Israeli crowd that has been a part of my life, and I've been a part of his life for 30 years now, since I was 17, going on stages, on stand-up comedy stages. And I think going through the process of being a stand-up comic and, just polishing every joke and coming on stage and being very, open and exposed on stage, got me to a stage when I think the comedy that I do for movies or for cinema or for TV is much more, it's a bit more easier for me to do right now, because I have this like suitcase of all sorts of material that I did throughout the years. But I just want to talk about this aspect of language, and I think something is changing in the world, and you can see it via Netflix and other streamers, that the cat, hey, go away, have this cat. Look, yeah, just go away, okay? Just leave us alone. Just leave us alone. So sorry. So no, she's stealing my leg. No biting. So what I love about being a comedian in Israel, that you have such a unique language. Like the Hebrew is so specific, and I love the fact that we're speaking Hebrew. I love the fact that we're doing comedy in Hebrew. I think it was, who was it that said, I think it was Bialik that said that Israel will become Israel once it had a Hebrew thief and a Hebrew whore. I'm sorry about this, but that was that times. And I think what he meant was this, a country is about, just stop it. She's sabotaging this. Just go away.
This is a bit, Guri, isn't it? This is a bit you're doing for us.
So sorry. I'm just so sorry. So rude. Such a rude cat. Such a rude Israeli cat. Such a bully. God damn it. So I think just being able to do this very ordinary thing, like doing comedy, making a joke in Hebrew, making something very casual. This is what he meant. Like, this is when you become a real country. You have a real identity. Once you're handling the small aspects of life. And I think comedy is like dealing with the smallest aspects of life, like the little things. And once you're dealing with the little things, you're dealing with true life.
Yeah, I think actually there's a book written about Jewish humor, but it's more in the American context. Christine Davis wrote that ethnic humor is when you can laugh at your former self. And so I think that this is also about, Israel being able to kind of produce a kind of humor where you're actually laughing at who you used to be.
Of course, but we are not talking about Judaism. We're not talking about Judaism. We're talking about being Israeli. It's
Yes.
something different. It's something, you know, those Jewish people that came here and become governors of this land, they have another sort of, I don't know, DNA to them. So the cultural aspect of this DNA should be, you know, celebrated. So this is what we do. This is what I think we do.
Well, thank you. Let's all celebrate this incredible piece of work by Guri Alfi for his directorial feature film debut.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
We are all so appreciative of you. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for sharing your film. And we will share this with everyone else. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Guri.
Come over, guys. It's safe here. I tell you, it's very safe. Just come over. Nothing will happen to you.